Hiya, a warning that this video talks about Watchtower trauma and triggering and trauma reactions that may be useful for you, or it may in itself be triggering, so just a warning, so you can be safe and take care of yourself. Thanks. Hi everyone, I'm playing here without the sound Parker's video from earlier today. Some of the gang were at Excel annual convention already and speaking and peacefully handing out some information. So I'd have loved to have been with you. I know it's gonna be great for you meeting up, but the practicalities for me are just absurd. And I know others of you've come over the ocean, but I would have to employ a careful time, and then you got to pay for their accommodation and their travel and food, and also it would just wreck me for a long time. So yeah, I don't want to get into little tiny violin stuff, but I'm not actually watching this video. I watched it while Ace was playing. I watched it with the sound, just the one. Obviously enthusiastic to see you together and what you're doing, but it's triggered a huge flashback or flashbacks, and so I thought I'd mention it because it just shows how insidious Watchtower brainwashing, programming, whatever you want to call it, how it sits. Now I've been under trauma treatment for a number of years. It's at a specialist trauma centre, and like many of you, the trauma goes from being a baby right through decades into adulthood, and well into adulthood, and you're trying to process it, and it gets sat in the body. And although there were the effects of Watchtower I had, so I'm used to now, which some of you will be, or perhaps you shouldn't watch this. I'll put a warning at the beginning that it could be triggering. You get used to, because things can come out the blue, absolutely out the blue, but your body feels it all. And just watching this in London, that's it. All this stuff's come up, and I had no idea that was still locked in there. Yeah, there was this and there was that. I had no idea it was on this level. So those of you who go through that, breathing's been very difficult, so trying to remember to take good breaths. My skin crawls. It's like something under skin, especially the arms, and shaky. Whoa, limbs shaking. So it's a strange sickness in the stomach, a bit higher. Very strange, very weepy. It just says damn more to be seen. Not that trauma stuff, it's processing so much stuff. It's not really been the Watchtower thing. So it just shows how these things can be there. And we don't know, and they just sneak up on us, and I don't know, it's just strange. So I may not be watching the rest, but if anyone picks this up, give my love to the people there. I think Maggie was going to hand out some hugs for me, but she said she's not always comfortable herself with hugs, so she will at least give herself a hug from me. I wanted to compare as well where we went for our London conventions to this Excel place. I've not been to Excel. It's been open. I think it was the year 2000. So I'm interested to how that works out with numbers and things, and have they actually downsized? Because yeah, we used to go to Twickenham. It was always known as Twickers. So I'm just going to add on to the end of this. I'm going to look at some facts and figures of seating capacities and things, So I'd be interested to if anyone sees, how full the place is or not, and how many baptisms. And is this the only London one? I'm going to look up on the site. I find it very hard on jw.org to get information on where conventions and that are. It's so confusing to look up. I mean, if this is the only one for London, that's small, that's tiny. I must add in as well a special hello to the channel Marty Seeks the Truth. He has been planning for many months his equipment for getting good quality audio and visuals of the weekend, and as he's explained, his own family have very, very serious needs right now, so he's obviously with his parents. He has a gorgeous bond with them from what I can see, and I'm sure we all wish him well, and everyone knows he would be there. I've calmed down a bit now. Okay, so this is where we used to have our annual conventions, and it covered London and areas beyond. We were outside London in the north, to the north of London, and we had our local centre, which was at Bowes Road. That's where I got dunked, and apparently they're still using that. Last I looked, that's going to be a very valuable piece of property now. So, but the big annual convention was at Twickenham. Now you can see the capacity for this was enormous. It's the fourth largest European stadium by capacity, 82,000. They may have expanded it since. I know Wembley got expanded and things, but it was huge. You could get some odd blocks that were not quite full and things, but it really was packed, and it was such an exercise, sort of with cars and things getting in and out. We would hire a coach. Some people, I think, would stay overnight and things, but we would hire a coach, so we would go home each day and stuff. But it was very long days, of course, as many of you will know far better than I. So that's where we used to go, 82,000. And looking at their events, as far as I can tell, it would be free this weekend and next weekend. I found out that XL is having the JW convention is on next weekend as well. Okay, 82,000. Let us compare and contrast. If anyone actually does have any facts on why things have changed, or the reasons that were given why things have changed, I'd be fascinated to know. Okay, let's have a look at XL. So I'm on XL London's site. I've misdirected myself because when I was looking at their previous seating plans, it seemed they went from 4,000 to 6,500. But you can actually adapt the space. It looks suitably soulless, at least, for a JW convention. Sorry, that was a bitchy remark, I do realise. But you can make it as big or as small, get partitioned off. Look at that, like a blooming aircraft hangar, isn't it? So you've got, you can see movable walls, hall modules, large, easy to brand entrances. That's gonna be popular with Watchtower. 10-meter high ceilings. That's 10-meter high ceilings. What is one of the governing body going in with the big head? I mean, because they do need them that way. I know I'm being bitchy again. Excuse my phone making noises. I've got charging problems here. So yeah, we have capacity there at any one time for 68,750 visitors. So they're doing this in 2 shifts. This weekend, the 3 days. Next weekend, another lot for the 3 days. Anyone can get figures, how much of the building they're using. Be fascinated to compare that with Twickenham, because I would think London would be bleeding. Saying they're bleeding, but you do in London have a large immigrant population, and we do know that JWs do well with that because people are displaced, lacking, if they come from a place with a big family structural support and they're missing that, they're very much ripe for plucking. So perhaps that would feature in their favour. So we got 7.2 metre wide driving doorways for quick build up and breakdown. Well, I used to have lots of breakdowns, so I guess there with them. I'm sorry, I'm being facetious. Floor weight loading. Well, that's good to know if the chunky governing body there, that the floors will be able to hold them. I'm being bitchy again. Marshalling area for 300 vehicles. Now, I was surprised at the low number of vehicles that they accommodate. Okay, 300 doesn't mean 300 people, and I would imagine a car is just in J-Dubland. We would all, wouldn't we, if we're doing something like that, we'd all cram into a car so we could share the petrol money and things, because it was, not many of us. Well, people I hung out with, we didn't have a lot of money, but always, but it depended. Now this will be useful. Configurable toilet blocks with the ability to flex the male-female ratio, and we ladies do make up a larger number of the J-Dub male-female ratio. So, nice eateries there. What else have they got there? Let's have a look. Oh, Coca-Cola. Oh, blimey. More eateries. Don't know what that is. People randomly walking around. A bus. Get on a bus. Someone's legs. God, these are bad photos. Oh, who chose these photos? This is a huge site. Now that looks a bit more interesting. It's a huge site, and it's like, what? Ooh, and there's some convention going on. And then there's no band. Who's that? Can't tell who that is. A bit big bandy drummer is trying to stay awake there. So there you have it. I really am interested in the figures. We take every event to heart, yeah, and don't know the rest of us kids. So anyway, I'm wishing everyone a safe weekend, and whoop-de-doo. I'll see you the other side of sanity. Lots of love. Bye.